well, that was pretty frustrating and pretty boring to watch, really. I mean, that was just... What an awful game of football to watch on a kind of general wide scale. And just... I am frustrated. I'm a little bit pissed. And I know that this game doesn't have any kind of major bearing. Doesn't really matter. England already qualified. Yes, we haven't won the group. Yes, we go through in second place. And yes, we face Colombia on Tuesday night. But, you know, that game in general was awful. And why I'm so frustrated and why I'm so annoyed, frankly, is that you wait all day to watch a game that has been, you know, built up and hyped up, you know, particularly and potentially has been a really kind of heavyweight encounter. The first true test that England have got in this World Cup campaign. And then, you know, the result of that and what you get treated to is 90 minutes of poor, insipid football. You know, lackadaisical football, boring football, passive football. I mean, I don't think Belgium, you know, were better than us. I don't think that they absolutely battered us. You know, I think Belgium were equally as poor as England. You know, Belgium got one moment of magic for Januzaj that in the end is the difference between the two. But, you know, it's almost like we settled for the defeat. I mean, Gareth Southgate didn't make any changes whatsoever. He put out a fairly decent side, but none of the big hitters started. And, you know, everything that I said in my preview yesterday was irrelevant, really. You know, I would have, and I said that not only do I think that Kane is going to start, and I said it was an absolute set, he wasn't even, you know, not only did he start, but not only didn't he start, but he wasn't even came on, is what I was meant to say. He didn't even come on to the field. You know, he was on the bench for the whole 90 minutes. You know, and we looked so light in midfield, and we just looked so like fed up. We didn't look like we cared. We didn't look like we didn't really want to be there. It was one of those, like, it reminded me very much of two things. Firstly, a training game, which when you see games that have got no bearing and nothing relies on that whatsoever, there's no real meaning on that game. So, you know, why the footballer's going to actually turn up, because there's nothing. You know, you're either going to face Japan or Colombia, really. And unless you want to just be, you know, at the top of the group, what really you've got to play for today. But also what it reminded me, and I don't say this, you know, in kind of, and this is not easy for me to say, and I don't say this lightly, but it reminded me of the England side under Roy. Passive, slow, boring, nothing there. Think of what we did against Tunisia and Panama. Yes, I know that they, and their quality, and they weren't particularly good. You know, their quality was decreased. They, you know, they were awful sides, frankly. But, you know, we played so well, regardless. I mean, if we played like we played against Panama tonight, we would have comfortably beaten this Belgium side, who was the Belgium second side. I mean, Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne, you know, weren't in the squad, and they didn't even come on. You know, so, yeah, it's just one of those nights where I am really, really frustrated. And, yeah, this is Examining England and my thoughts and feelings to the game in Group G, England's final group game, which has seen them fall into their first World Cup defeat. First World Cup defeat under Gareth Southgate as they lose 1-0 to Belgium. And, you know, I basically just wrapped up the game already just before I've even done my intro. But it was so poor. It was such a poor night. And, you know, the only real difference was Januzaj, you know, in the second, I mean, in the first half, nothing really happened. We had a couple of chances here or there. And, you know, Vardy had a couple of headers. Rashford had a couple of decent chances. We made some nice, you know, passages of play. We built up a bit of the ball, and we know we had some nice chances, nice bits of build-up play in between. But nothing really substantial, nothing really clear-cut. And, you know, Belgium kicked off the second half. They didn't really create anything, you know, much. We had a couple of decent chances here or there. And then Januzaj just got down the right-hand side. He kind of tricked Rose, did a bit of a side foot, and then just put a beautiful shot. It was so nice. He kind of whipped it right into the side of the back of the net to make it 1-0. And not only that, right from the get-go, you know, Tielemans had a fantastic shot, and even though reluctantly it was right at the hands of Jordan Pickford, it was a really good chance, and the warning signs were there. We had a couple of decent chances. Rashford was 1-on-1, which was England's best chance. How Courtois got a save to it, he kind of just fucked it up because he didn't really get enough power and he didn't get enough swerve onto it to either put it in the left or the right hand side, and it was an easy save for Courtois in the end. But, you know, failing that, there wasn't really anything that kind of made me get out of my seat and go, wow. You know, there was nothing there whatsoever. And, you know, and this is why I want to kind of, you know, throw the debate out to you guys. I am not in the agreement of resting an entire field of players. I've never ever agreed with this, and I understand why Gareth Southgate has done this. You know, the big tests, and we're going to have much more tough tests in the knockout games, and I get that. You know, we've already qualified. Why would you play your strongest side with the risk of potentially an injury that could sabotage you in the later rounds? But the one thing that you're forgetting is consistency. All of the consistency that we built up beating Tunisia and then Panama has now all been wiped out. Because he filled it out. I mean, you know, the side that he filled out, you know, Cahill came into the side, Jones came into the side, Alexander-Arnold got a start, Delph came into the side, Vardy and Rashford got starts. So, you know, it was a fairly decent side. I was looking at it, you know, just before the game commenced, and I was like thinking, okay, that's a fairly decent side. But even though we had pace, you know, going forward, we were so light in midfield, you know, and I never thought I'd say this, but we generally were missing Henderson tonight. And, you know, we were missing, you know, a power, you know, attacker going forward with the likes of Kane. Definitely we needed like a Sterling or a Lingard. And the fact that Gareth Southgate didn't even bring anyone on just shows you that he really couldn't care. And the England side didn't care what would happen tonight. And I mean, you can understand why they didn't care, but you know, I'm always about, you know, consistency is key, and had we even got a draw tonight, it would have kept the positivity going. And, you know, yes, this doesn't have, you know, much bearing on the overall tournament, but, you know, it is a downer because we've lost the game, and you know, we went and we had such a great, you know, run of games even before the World Cup started. I think Gareth Southgate was unbeaten in like his last 12, and you know that consistency was continuing, and now it's just kind of, you know, grinded to an immediate halt because we lost the game, and it's because we made one too many changes. I mean, you know, yes, I can understand, you know, Jones coming in or Cahill coming in, but why Kane couldn't start? I mean, is he really going to pick up that, you know, an injury? You know, sometimes in football you've got to take a risk, and I think that consistency is as important as, you know, making sure that you keep your strongest lineup, but, you know, as fit as possible. Now, if England go on to win the World Cup, then this video will be irrelevant. But where I'm looking at right now is that we are going to get, you know, bigger and tougher tests. I would have rather, you know, wanted to play Japan rather than Colombia. I think Colombia can actually be quite decent. They've got a couple of really decent players. So, you know, if we're not at full throttle against Colombia on Tuesday night, that could be our World Cup tournament, you know, down the swingy. And, you know, it's just, we've got to play with pace, but we've also got to play with power, and we've also got to press. And there was none of that tonight. There was none of that whatsoever. And, you know, what I will say, and this will be just to finish off this match for you, if we could just kind of write this off and then kind of look ahead to the knockout games, get the knockout games under our belt, get a couple of wins, and kind of get that, you know, because if we go through into the quarterfinals, that confidence and that, you know, positivity and energy will be right back with England, you know, straight away. So we can easily get it back. But, you know, it's very, very strange and very, very baffling. And just more importantly, and I finish off, I was frustrated watching tonight's performance. I really was frustrated. And just hopefully we can kind of just draw a line under this and move on to the knockout stage. And I'll talk all about the England and Colombia match when I do my match preview in the next coming days. Probably do it on Monday just before England's game on Tuesday night. And that is where I'll rejoin you for examining England. And in the meantime, there's going to be DJ Bagpuss Music Moments and Bagpuss Uncut this weekend, just before we continue this World Cup content on my channel. So if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and check out my content as well. I really want to hear your thoughts and feelings to this game down in the comment section below. You can also tweet me at DJ Bagpuss1998. And until next time, this is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all soon.